Welcome to the third video of the Scaling Scan, a user-friendly tool that explores what is required to scale an innovation in a context. This video will discuss Step 1B and 1C of the Scaling Scan. That includes both its systems and responsibility check. My name is Eva Valencia, and together with Leonard Voltering and all the partners you see on the screen, we are happy to share with you now this information so you can use and adapt this tool for your own projects. Why have we made these videos? We made them as a way to support the Scaling Scan workbook or for their users that are working with this tool in digital form. We aim to provide also further tips and tricks when using the tool, and we hope it will be a useful video that you can use and share with whomever you know is interested in using the Scaling Scan tool as well. After doing the first two instructional videos about the Scaling Scan and the Scaling Ambition, Step 1A, we will now focus on this video on Step 1B and Step 1C. These two steps are the systems and responsibility checks of the Scaling Scan. If you're interested in learning more information about the Scaling Scan, you can also check the web page of the Scaling Scan. In it, you will find the digital versions of the Scaling Scan, a forum to exchange experiences, and references for further reading. In the previous instructional video, we spoke about the Scaling Ambition and the questions that you had to ask yourself to scope your scaling goals. As you saw, the questions in Step 1A guide you so that you describe the scaling level you aim to reach with your innovation. However, as we will see now in this video, to finalize your scaling ambition, you need also to consider your innovation in a context. As you can see in the image on the right, one thing is what we imagine what our innovation could be, and another one is the real opportunities and limitations our context has to scale that innovation. For this reason, the systems and responsibility checks are also part of Step 1A, as they add two types of considerations that you have to reflect upon when you define your scaling ambition, which are: what is the current state of the system where you are aiming to scale your innovations? For example, in here we can see the fish in a bowl. Do we want to scale the innovation inside the bowl, or do we want to scale it in the sea? And the second question, what would be the social and environmental trade-offs if we aim to do a responsible scaling of this innovation? Understanding the previous work that has been done already linked to your innovation and acknowledging the future potential effects of it will give a more realistic and responsible idea of what the scaling goal of your innovation should be. To begin with, let's start by analyzing Step 1B of the systems check. It proposes that your scaling ambition should not only depend on your innovation per se, but also on how much your innovation has or not already scaled in your context. In here, in this slide, you can see the different levels when an innovation scales from pilot to real life. The scaling scan in the systems check asks you to reflect upon how much your innovation has already scaled in your context, in terms of quantity, quality, or as part of a structural processes. It makes you consider also if there have been complementary processes that have made space for your innovation to scale in the level you aim it for, by supporting your innovation requirements or by withdrawing other practices that may be contradictory to the scaling of your innovation. Thus, the result of this systems check is to reflect on the scaling level you want to reach and the place where your innovation is currently standing. It is important to highlight that not everything should have the greatest scale, as sustainability requires better impact targeting, not necessarily always reaching the greatest scale. Finally, in step 1C, we reach the final reflection on the scaling ambition, thinking of the consequences of our scaling plan. The responsibility check in the scaling ambition makes us consider what would be the potential positive or negative trade-offs, opportunities, or risks of our scaling. It is based on the learning that not every innovation should scale, and that every innovation has its own measure to scale. For this, the responsibility check has added two other considerations: a social and environmental responsibility check. In the social responsibility check, we ask questions to analyze whether the ambition is considering social inclusion, gender responsiveness, equal participation, and empowerment of vulnerable groups. For the environmental aspects, we assess whether the scaling ambition of the innovation is considering the potential opportunities and trade-offs it may have in the use of natural resources, if there are other environmental trade-offs and risks that may be produced with it environmentally, in the planetary boundaries, for example, and whether it is responding to the current climate change mitigation and adaptation challenges of the context. Thus, with this responsibility check, we assess whether the innovation is promoting these social inclusion and environmental objectives aligned to sustainability and the Sustainable Development Goals, or if it is promoting negative effects towards them. In conclusion, in step 1B and 1C, we can see that the scaling ambition should not only include what is the desired scaling goals for your ambition, but it should also include an analysis of how much your innovation has already been developed or not in the context where you are working. It should acknowledge the level of your contribution to the system, as we have seen in the systems check. At the same time, in the responsibility check, we reflect upon if your scaling ambition should consider the future by acknowledging and deciding upon ways in which you can reduce social and environmental risks when you develop the scaling of your innovation. All of this to have a more conscient, feasible, and responsible scaling ambition. We hope that this video has been useful for you. Remember to participate in the community forum of the Scaling Scan webpage if you have any doubts, and to share this video with others that you think may find it useful. We hope to see you soon and learn from your scaling scan experiences. Goodbye.